imagine one day if the Preds finally get moved to the Eastern Conference like they should be under conference realignment? They got to put the Preds and the Islanders in the same division, right? Oh, it feels so damn good to win the season series against this team once again. All very well and good, Johnny, but when can we start talking about the P word again? Before you fly off the handle, Johnny, take a deep breath. Ha 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 ha. Does someone somewhere have a voodoo doll collection of this roster? As always, not helping. I guess the season's over. So, sit down silence. That was the plan. Why does it say placed on waivers? Nothing said. I have to talk about dumb moves and a Pets front office. What the hell did I just watch? Do I really need to be here for this at this point? I'm not having flashbacks to Game 4 against the Canucks last spring. At this point, Johnny, you can just splice together old intros. Cutie intro.
Let Denson take you home.
Everybody's hands go up, way up, as the Preds rally twice and defeat the New York Islanders by a final score of 4-3 Saturday night inside UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. Thanks to 2 goals by Phil Forsberg, 27 saves by U.C. Saros, and the captain 200th goal of his NHL career. The Preds salvaged the road trip. Who knew this team was capable of this result tonight after what happened on Tuesday and Thursday of this 3-game road trip? Early in this game, the Preds had the chance to open the scoring, but Forsberg and Stamkos can't connect for a goal. Moments later, though, it is the Islanders who can get their act together. They forecheck well, collapse on the Preds' net, causing fracases and rebounds, and it's Matt Barzal who bangs in the opening goal. Barely 90 seconds in, and the Preds find themselves down to the Islanders 1-0. Almost 4.5 minutes later, I dread this moment that the Preds might put themselves in a deep hole. The Islanders on the attack again to Saros' right, and Matthew Schaefer walks into a shot that he lets go, and it beats Saros, and the Preds are now down 2-0 to the Islanders. Almost halfway through the first period, Islanders look to be in firm control, already out shooting the Preds 7-2. But an Adam Pelech tripping penalty on Andreas Englund puts a damper on things for the time being, because 5 seconds into the ensuing power play, Phil Forsberg gets the Preds off of the mat, scores his 21st goal of the season. Preds now only down 2-1. And in 3 minutes after Forsberg made it 2-1, Islanders, Preds on the forecheck again, crashing and banging. And Jonathan Marchessault from behind the Islanders' net, behind Sorokin, sends it out front to Matthew Wood before anybody can touch him. Matthew Wood, welcome back to the show. He scores, and the Preds and the Islanders are all squared away again. Now the game is tied at 2. We would have to wait a moment to make sure that the puck indeed did cross the line. Yep, off the post and in before it came out to make the Islanders doubt that it was a goal, but it counts. And Preds off the floor, back in again. Preds fans can relax for the moment that they're not in a deep hole with this game tied again. Under 4 minutes left to go in the first, Jonathan Marchessault hooks Adam Pelech. Jonathan Marchessault does not care for the call very much, and unfortunately lets his temper get the best of him. And it didn't cost the Preds with another power play, but he does get a 10-minute misconduct for technically abuse of official by shooting the puck to the other end of the ice, disagreeing with the call. On the Islanders' power play that they wouldn't score on, it's actually the Preds with the majority of the chances, including a 2-on-0 that Roman Josi and Eric Holla both can't score on. It would have been nice there. And then Brady Shea, of all people, has a chance on a partial break, and he can't beat Ilya Sorokin. After the Preds have killed the penalty, chances at both end as we round out the first period. Game tied at 2 after 1. Preds actually with the edge in shots, maybe a sign of things to come. 11-10 Preds after 20 minutes. Preds get a scare about 4.5 into the second period when Bo Horvat gets a puck by Saros, rings it off of the post, and luckily it stays out. about 7.5 minutes into the second period. Fortuitous bounce leads Roman Josi to overcommit along the left wing board, setting up a 2-on-1 that Brady Shea is forced to defend. Anders Lee sets up Jean-Gabriel, who beats Saros. Nothing Brady Shea can do on that one, being left all alone to defend it. I do not, and you cannot blame him on this one. The Islanders back in front, now up 3-2. Kyle McLean for the Islanders shortly after that gets a chance to give the Islanders some breathing room and make it a 2-goal deficit for the Preds once again, but UC Saros makes the save and bails out his team. We're past the halfway mark of the second period. Preds massively outshooting the Islanders in that second period, but they just can't buy a goal as of yet. Period is definitely leaning the Preds' way as we reach 6 minutes left to go in the period. Just keep doing the hard work and maybe something will finally go in. Well, guess what? Something finally went in, because moments later, Preds are crashing and banging in the Islanders' zone, keeping up the intensity, and there's only so much really Sorokin can do to bail out his team. And finally, it's Forsberg, his second of the game, 22nd of the season, gets this game tied at 3 apiece. A little bit after that, Michael Bunting has a great opportunity to give the Preds their first lead of the game, but Sorokin robs him with the glove. Under 2 minutes remaining in the second period, Preds with a push that results in Luke Evangelista being dumped into the Islanders' net. Period eventually concludes. Game is tied at 3 apiece after 2 periods, and the Preds impressively outshot the Islanders 23-13 in that period. So much so that the MSG feed that I got stuck watching pointed out that this is the most shots the Islanders surrendered in a period since moving to UBS Arena. 70 seconds into the third period, the Islanders are buzzing once again in the Preds zone. Anthony Duclair is slightly over to Saros' left as Saros tracks the puck and leaves his net ever so slightly just on the outside of the lip, trying to fight for position to see where the puck is. Duclair leans back a little bit too much, knocking Saros and himself over as Saros sees that the puck is going to his right. The Islanders set up and shoot into the empty net. Saros unable to make the save, and the officials in that moment right away don't take a moment to think about it and wave it off for goalie interference. Islanders coach Patrick Waugh challenges the goalie interference call, believing it to be a good goal. The officials confer with Toronto over the phone and shortly thereafter conclude that yes, it was goaltender interference. Patrick Waugh and the fans in UBS Arena are not happy about it, and because of the failed challenge, the Preds will have a power play because the Islanders get called for delay of game because of that. Personally, if you want my opinion on the goal and then being disallowed for goalie interference, if Duclair was not leaning back so much, I think it's probably fine if he just makes a little contact with Saros out of the crease, but because he leaned into him so much, that's why it was waved off, even though I could have seen it going either way. On the power play, Preds have some good looks, some solid zone time, but can't make Patrick Waugh pay for his failed challenge. Just over 8 minutes into the third period, after Sorokin makes a save, Scott Mayfield takes exception to Michael McCarron's pressure. Those two have a choice of words and both get sent off for roughing, meaning we play 4-on-4. No scoring on that 4-on-4, and this game is still tied at 3 under 8 minutes left to go in regulation when Bo Horvat of the Islanders is tripped down by Adam Wilsby, giving the Islanders a prime opportunity on the power play to get themselves another lead. Islanders feed, to their credit, points out that the Preds have killed off 14 of their last 15 penalties prior to the Adam Wilsby trip over their last 7 games. And I think that's all very well and good. If the Preds could just score a little bit more, 5-on-5, they would be in a much better position standings-wise. And on the Adam Wilsby tripping penalty, Preds are strong. They killed off again, barely giving the Islanders a sniff on the power play. This game has under 5 minutes left to go in regulation, basically reaching next goal win territory for this team for the third time on this road trip. This game is proceeding, clock ticking away as it nears the conclusion of regulation. We have just a little bit over 2 minutes left to go in regulation. Play is in the Islanders zone. Cole Smith gets dumped into Ilya Sorokin, and there's choice of words. And guess who's in the middle of it? It's Adam Pelech. Cole Smith gets called for the interference. Adam Pelech gets called for the roughing, when it was really Cole Smith being pushed into the Islanders net minder by his own teammate, and the refs assess, oh goody, yes, let's play 4-on-4 once again. Great job there, refs. Great. Under 90 seconds left to go in regulation, with more wide open ice to use, Preds fans everywhere, including myself, have to fear that this game is going to go into overtime and the Islanders are going to walk it off once again. Or even the most pessimistic fans on X were tweeting about that they thought this would give the Islanders a great chance to make sure the Preds got 0 points out of this. But a certain man with a C on his jersey had other ideas. The captain, with the extra ice of being 4-on-4, skates the puck in. His teammates go to work in their different positions as Roman Josi skates through 2 Islanders players, does a 360, makes sure there's a screen in front, ends up being Steven Stamkos, and Roman Josi, after doing the quick 360, lets a shot go on net. It goes in. Beautiful, beautiful screen provided by Steven Stamkos, and the Preds have their first lead of the game, now up 4-3 on Roman Josi's 10th goal of the season. It just happens to be goal number 200 for the captain. Islanders coach Patrick Wall would call it a timeout. All hands on deck for the players on his roster, but the clock would tick down. He would not get goal number 4, and credit to Preds fan Barry on X, who called it. This game would not go to overtime. The Preds would not lose 3 in a row, all in overtime. They would indeed hang on to win this one with that late goal by Josi by a final score of 4-3. Preds fans enjoy the long walk into Long Island, get the 2 points, and salvage the road trip that they did get a point in every game. Props to them on that. Whew. Thank God this team knows they are allowed to score late in regulation, so they could avoid the possibility tonight of losing 3 straight in overtime. Because in the back of my mind in this one, that's exactly what I feared was going to happen. But hey, I also should have known, based on precedent, that the Preds have a history of winning in the clutch against these Islanders. There's L.A. Tovinen's 11 seconds left in regulation in Long Island at the beginning of the decade. There's Alex Carrier's 7 seconds left in regulation winner a couple years back in Bridgestone. There's Roman Josi's overtime winner in Long Island after the Preds were down 4-2 late. And of course, there's the Preds 7-6 win in overtime after the disastrous season that they had last year when they were down 6-4 left in regulation. As for this year, the Preds got a point in every game of the 3-game road trip, ending with the win in this one. It would have been nice if they got 2 wins, much less 3 on this road trip, but I will give them credit for getting a point in every single one of these games. Now the Preds head home for a quick 2-game homestand before playing in the U.S.'s national capital before everyone is off for the Olympic break. If you want this die-hard bunch of Preds fans to believe that this team is capable of anything post-Olympic break, that we won't be like sell to General Manager Barry Trotz, you have to win 2 of these remaining 3 games. No questions asked, no excuses. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media and interact with me during every Preds game by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption Everyone deserves the right to redemption, just like this team earned a little bit of that with this comeback regulation win tonight. Don't miss a chance to one day witness redemption.